Extreme Simulator gameplay. In the world of video games, there are few experiences more intense than that of an extreme simulator. These games seek to immerse the player in a realistic, high-stakes environment, and the best ones succeed in transporting the player to another world entirely. From the first-person perspective of a military shooter to the bird's eye view of a city-building strategy game, extreme simulators offer a wide range of gameplay experiences, but what they all have in common is a sense of urgency and importance that is matched in other genres. Whether you're trying to survive a zombie apocalypse or save the world from a nuclear disaster, extreme simulators will put you to the test, and that's what makes them so addictive. 1. Introduction to the game. 2. What is it like to play the game? 3. What are the different stages of the game? 4. What are the objectives of the game? 5. How is the game won? 6. What are the different ways to lose the game? 7. Conclusion. 1. Introduction to the game. Simulation games are a damn a dozen these days. Whether it's simulating a city, war, or a farm, there is a game out there for everyone who wants to try their hand at being a virtual god. However, there is one simulation game that stands out from the pack, and that's Extreme Simulator. Extreme Simulator isn't your typical simulation game. For one, it's not set in some idyllic pastoral landscape. It's set in the middle of Warzone. You're not building cities or farms here. You're building armies and fortifications. It's a game that's all about survival. It's not for the faint of heart. If you're looking for a challenge and you want to see if you can survive in the most extreme conditions imaginable, then Extreme Simulator is the game for you. It's a heart-pounding, edge-of-your-seat kind of game that will keep you coming back for more. So, what are you waiting for? 2. What is it like to play the game? The game puts players in the role of an astronaut who is sent to space to complete a variety of missions. The game is played from a first-person perspective, and players must use a variety of tools and equipment to complete their objectives. Players will often find themselves outside of their spacecraft working to repair or install something. The game does a good job of simulating the weightlessness of space, and players will need to use care when moving around. The players' movements are also slowed down, which gives the game a sense of realism. The game can be quite challenging at times, especially when players are working against a time limit. However, the sense of satisfaction that comes from completing a mission is worth the effort. Overall, the game is a fun and unique experience that is sure to please fans of simulation games. 3. What are the different stages of the game? The game consists of 4 distinct stages, which are the preparation stage, the exploration stage, the escalation stage, and the extraction stage. During the preparation stage, the player is tasked with gathering resources and preparing their ship for the journey ahead. This includes outfitting the ship with the necessary equipment, stocking up on supplies, and choosing a crew. Once the player is ready, they will begin the exploration stage. During this stage, the player will visit different star systems in search of habitable planets. Once a suitable planet is found, the player will land on the surface and begin to survey the area. If the planet is determined to be habitable, the player will enter the escalation stage. During this stage, the player will begin to build up their base on the planet. This will involve constructing buildings, gathering resources, and expanding their territory. Once the player has established a strong foothold on the planet, they will enter the extraction stage. During this stage, the player will begin to extract resources from the planet in order to ship them back to their home base. This will involve setting up mining operations and shipping the resources back to your base. 4. What are the objectives of the game? The aim of the game is to score points by doing tricks and completing objectives, while avoiding crashing into objects. The more complex the trick, the more points you score. There are also bonus points for stringing together multiple tricks. The game is set in a variety of locations, each with their own unique challenges. The objectives of the game vary depending on the location, but typically involve reaching a certain score, completing a certain number of tricks, or stringing together a certain number of combos. In some locations, there are also time-based challenges, where you must complete the objective within a certain time limit. 5. How is the game won? The game is won by completing all of the challenges and tasks required in each level. There is a final goal to complete the entire game, but players can also choose to challenge themselves by replaying levels to try and improve their performance. The game can be quite difficult at times, but players who are willing to put in the time and effort will be rewarded with a unique and rewarding experience. 6. What are the different ways to lose the game? There are a few different ways to lose the game in Extreme Simulator. The most common way to lose is by running out of time, which happens when the timer reaches 0. You can also lose by running out of fuel, which happens when your car's fuel gauge reaches 0. Finally, you can lose by crashing your car, which happens when your car's health points reach 0. 7. Conclusion. Games where the player is in control of a character or group of characters interacting within the game environment to complete a series of tasks or goals. In this genre of games, the player is often required to make decisions that will affect the outcomes of the game. There are many different subgenres of simulation games, but they all share a common goal to immerse the player in a different world and test their ability to handle the challenges that come with it. Simulation games can be used for a variety of purposes, from educational to entertainment. Some simulations are designed to teach the player about a particular subject, as history or science. Others are created purely for entertainment and can be used to relieve boredom or stress. Simulations can be very complex, with many different moving parts, or they can be very simple. The level of complexity is often determined by the purpose of the simulation. Simulation games can be found on a variety of platforms, including personal computers, handheld devices, consoles, and online. Simulation games have been around for many years, but they have become increasingly popular in recent years. Simulations offer players the chance to experience something different from their everyday lives. They provide an escape from reality and allow the player to explore different worlds and scenarios. Simulations can be an excellent way to learn about new things. They can also be a lot of fun and a good way to relieve boredom or stress. As more and more people turn to online gaming to scratch their extreme sports itch, it's no wonder that developers are starting to create more and more extreme simulator games. And with the technology only getting better and better, the sky is the limit for what we can expect from future games in this genre. Whether it's hurtling down a mountainside on a snowboard or driving a race car at breakneck speed, there's an extreme simulator game out there for everyone. So strap in and get ready for some extreme fun. Concept and game design. The concept and game design are the first and most critical steps in creating an extreme car simulator game. The development team must come up with an original and exciting concept, followed by defining the game mechanics, objectives, rules, and the scope and scale of the game. During this phase, the storyline, character development, and world-building elements of the game are also established. Engine and tools. To create an extreme car simulator game, the development team must choose a game engine and a variety of tools to help them create the game. Popular game engines used for racing games include Unreal Engine, Unity, and Create 9, among others. In addition to the game engine, the team will require tools for modeling and texturing the vehicles, creating environments, and implementing physics and AI systems. Depending on the complexity of the game, they may also require tools for sound design, scripting, and animation. Vehicle design. The vehicles are the most important aspect of an extreme car simulator game. These vehicles must be modeled and textured to look and behave as realistically as possible, while also being visually appealing and customizable. During the vehicle design phase, the team will work to create a wide variety of vehicles, from high-performance sports cars to off-road vehicles and everything in between. They will also develop customization options, allowing players to modify their vehicles with various parts and upgrades. Environment design. In an extreme car simulator game, the environment is just as important as the vehicles themselves. The environments should be designed to be visually stunning and varied, with a range of terrain types and obstacles to overcome. To create realistic environments, the team will need to research and study the behavior of real-world environments. This might involve working with experts in geology and physics, as well as conducting tests and experiments with real vehicles. Physics and AI systems. The physics and AI systems are crucial for creating a realistic and engaging extreme car simulator game. The physics system should simulate the behavior of the vehicles in a realistic manner, including acceleration, braking, steering, and handling. The AI system should create believable and challenging opponents or obstacles for the player to overcome. To create realistic physics and AI systems, the team will use advanced algorithms and models, such as those used in real-world racing simulations. It may also be necessary to work with experts in automotive engineering and physics to ensure that the physics and systems are as accurate as possible. User interface and controls. The user interface is an essential aspect of any game, and is particularly important in an extreme car simulator game, where the player needs to be able to quickly and easily access information about their vehicle and environment. The user interface should be designed to be intuitive and easy to use, with clear and concise information about the vehicle's speed, direction, and other essential parameters. The controls for an extreme car simulator game should be designed to be as realistic as possible, while still being easy for players to use. This may involve creating a custom controller or joystick, or it may involve developing complex control schemes that